All right, let's see. Let's just do this one. Where's my? There we go. All right, so we're just going to go down the sales contract, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on some of the ways to structure your multiple offer to make them stronger. If anybody has any other ideas of what they do to help out, please put it in the chat, um, or feel free to unmute as I'm going through. Now, something else I will bring up is love letters, as people call them, letters from the buyers to the seller. If I'm on the seller side, similar price escalations, I really don't like them. One, you got to worry about fair housing. Are they going to get a cute picture of a family and they're going to choose that over someone that just like doesn't have a family and they want a family to live there? Like that's against fair housing. So you're running that risk there. Um, so, so I would try to say no to the letters to the seller if I'm on that side and recommend that for them to do not even review them. But if I'm on the buyer side, love letter it up. like like feel free if you're going to be multiple offers. I did when I bought my house. I put one in. Like I've seen it in the past before I started saying no love letters. I saw sellers want to accept offers that weren't as good for them because of a family, the photo of the family, and how much they said they liked their house. Like it's so on the buyer side, if I'll tell them if you really, really like a house, feel free to let the sellers know what you like about it. We could send a letter with it. Up to them if they want to review it or not. Now going down, there's nothing really on the first page, but as we get going, so first purchase price. Once we have what you're going to offer and let's how do we make it even stronger from there? So first, hand money. You could say that usually most of the ones I put in, the hand money is 1% of the purchase price. So I'm $300,000 house. I'm going to do $3,000. If we want to make our offer stronger, increase the hand money more, double it, triple it potentially. Something else you could do with hand money is you could say, all right, we're going to do $5,000 up front after inspections or before inspections, like within the 5 days. And then if a lot of people don't use this, but you see number two right here, additional deposit within X days of executed contract. So say we have an inspection timeline, it's 10 days, then you get your 5 days, and then you get your 2 days. So call it like 17 days after inspections, we're gonna deposit another 5 grand to make it even stronger. So if we're backing out after inspections, then you know especially you can still get out during a mortgage contingency, but um it can help boost your offer if your buyers are willing to do more hand money. Now we get into seller concessions. Right now I've been putting on pretty much all of mine. I'm asking the sellers to pay for all my hand money, but it is an optional thing that your buyers can pay for all of your contract, your 2.5, 3%, whatever it is. You can say, hey, we're gonna make your offer stronger if you want to increase your closing costs and you pay um for my buyer agency. Now this is gonna kind of help in two different ways. That if your sellers, especially if they have cash or the money to bring to the table, they can pay for all your commission and the seller's commission, and on top of that, pay for transfer taxes as well. So you have, I think it right here. Actually, yeah, payment of transfer taxes will be divided equally between buyer and seller unless stated otherwise. Say buyer will pay for all transfer taxes. Now let's do the math here of what it would be. So let's say we have a $500,000 house, okay, and total commission is 6%. That's 30,000 grand. That's 30 grand right there. 30,000 grand. So 30 grand, 6%. If they want to bring it to the table to pay for both their transfer taxes. Um, and then we'll take the city of Pittsburgh. So let's do 500,000. And this is in the city of Pittsburgh. So they're already paying their half of it. Let's take another 2.5% that the sellers would pay, and that's 12,500. So that's $42,500. If they want to pay for all the buyer's commission, seller's commission, or buyer agent commission, seller agent commission, and the transfer taxes on a $500,000 house, that's 42,500. Now, let's say their max purchase price they want to go to. Maybe this isn't even multiple offers. It doesn't have to be. And it's a $500,000 house. They could say, hey, this is what we would offer now, but you're going to net the same. We are going to pay all the commissions and we're going to pay for transfer taxes. So 500,000, and then we'd minus that by 42,500. It'd be their new purchase price would be 457,500. So their transfer taxes technically would be a little bit lower for due to this, and their assessment on their house, their overall taxes are going to be lower as well. So I've seen it a couple times recently in multiple offers, but as well as just a cash buyer that doesn't want to pay as much taxes, they'll pay as much closing costs as possible to lower down what the purchase price is on the property. So nice little trick there you can do. And as far as commissions go, they could pay a percentage of yours. We got a little bit more cash on hand. We could bring some more closing cost. We'll do 1.5%. So I have a buyer agency of 1.5%. Say there isn't a CBC sign, then I'm just putting 1.5% in here. That's all the sellers have to pay. It makes our offer a little bit stronger. And then the rest of my 1.5% commission is going to fall back on my buyer agency contract that the sellers will then bring to closing. Okay. You just have to make sure your commission statement's on that correct. And if you're going to be doing this route, you want to make sure you have a cost sheet stating this as well of how much more their closing costs are going to be going up. You can add that into our cost sheets. Or if the lender is going to be doing it, let them know what they're going to be paying you out of their commissions. All right. Seller's assist, get to near zero if for multiple offers, if possible, to try to win. The least amount of seller's assist, the better in multiple offers. But if your people need it, you need it. Now, when we get down to settlement and putting in timing, thing I would recommend if your buyers, this is even without multiple offers, if your buyers say, I want to put an offer on this property, right when I leave the appointment, I'm calling a listing agent. Hey, my buyers want to write up. They're going to be talking about numbers right now. When's the best time for your sellers to close? Like what works best for them? I already ask my buyers. And if they're flexible, if they have to set a time, but like at least we can get a general idea of what works best for the seller to potentially get our offer accepted. Now, something else you can do here. Say you're when you're calling the agent and asking, say you're one of the first people through and there's no offers on this house yet. First day of showings or so. And your people really like the house and they want to put it in, they don't want to get to multiple offers. What I would ask the listing agent, can you please reach out to, we're going to be putting an offer. My buyers love your house. Can you reach out to the seller and find out, what it would take? Like, what are they looking for? What price would it be for them to take it off the market tonight? Just so you have a general idea. I mean, what if they say less than what your buyers were willing to go potentially? And they're like, this can do it tonight, these terms, and then hurry up, get it done and win it. When I was away on my trip a month ago, The one agent covered for me, Courtney, and she did this exact thing and won it for my clients before it went to multiple. There was another offer they were expecting to come in, and she did this. My buyers went up to the number they said, got it under contract that night. We didn't get to multiple offers, and they had lost a couple multiple offers before that. So, very good thing to do. But like, pick up the phone, call the listing agent if you're going to be putting an offer. Try to get as much information from them as you can of what works best for the seller. All right. Um, Going down, I mean, if you wanted to, like, here's the proration of taxes. If you want to get wild, I've never seen it happen. Your buyers could say, don't prorate the taxes. We'll pay for the full year of taxes. So, it's right now, what's today? It's almost May. It's April 28th. If a house is closing today, they're going to prorate the taxes. The seller would have paid up to now, and then a buyer is paying the rest of it. If the buyer wants to, they could say we'll pay for the whole year taxes, making our offer stronger. Haven't seen it, but it's an option you have there if you want it. Dates and time in the essence when you are in multiple offers doesn't really work if they pretty much set the time it's going to be. Um, but again, if you're one of the first ones in, you're trying to get it off the market and your offer is really good, I recommend using this. If I did an offer today, I might say, 428 by 6 o'clock tonight. I want a response, or this becomes void after this date. So here's a nice little trick you can use. I try to get my buyers to do this on Friday, but they didn't pull the trigger on it because they just went in at list price. But what you can do if there's no other offers in there and you're one of the first ones, so we have a house listed at 300 and they're like, we just want to get it off the market real quick. You call the agent, you find out, and you just submit your offer at 320 with the time essence of tonight. They have to accept that by tonight. Put in another offer right behind it with no time essence with list price. So it essentially what it says, hey, offer is 320,000. After tonight, that offer is void, and you have your other offer behind it at list price. So they're taking that risk of, do we want to see if we are going to get any other offers in, or is this good enough for us and we can accept it right now? Um, Interesting little trick that you could do that I've seen work before with agents. There's one in the Cranberry who she's the one that told me about this, a good agent up there. And I go, ooh, I love that. Um, and she's had it work for her multiple times. So as we go through, you're going to put your inclusions on there and stuff anyways. Um, Now, something you can do, if you do waived, you're waiving your inspections, that doesn't mean you're waiving your mortgage. It doesn't mean you can't get a mortgage. It just means you don't have the mortgage contingency to potentially get your hand money back if you can't get a mortgage. So if you read this sale is not contingent on mortgage financing, although buyer may maintain mortgage financing and or the parties may include an appraisal contingency. Buyer and seller understand that the waiver of this contingency does not restrict the buyer's right to obtain mortgage financing for the property. So just because they waive it doesn't mean it's just cash. I've seen when I was managing, I had people come to me and be like, "Oh, I just had an appraiser call me. They want to get in. They're getting a mortgage, and they said they're doing it in cash. They waive the mortgage contingency." I'm like, well, that's not necessarily what it means. It just means they're not. It's not contingent on them getting a mortgage. But I go have them read this part, and they're like, "Oh crap, I didn't realize that. We thought it was a cash offer. That's why we accepted it." So if you have offers coming over here and you're on the sell side, and unless if it, a lot of times I like to write cash on here if it is going to be cash. Um, but it's good to ask. And if they are, proof of funds with cash for the amount that they're going to buy in is really important. If they don't have that, it might be a clue of they might not be getting a cash doing a cash offer. It might be getting a mortgage. But on it's something you could do to make your offer stronger if your buyers feel very comfortable where they are, that they're not going to have a problem getting financing. Then you can waive that. It's just you run the risk that if you get, say you get through inspections and then you get to your mortgage and say something, I mean, you have a litany of things that happen. The person lost their job. I mean, who knows? The stock market went down and they can't buy it with the money that they're going to buy it for anymore. Saw that happen twice recently. Um, they, I had another thought, and then I lost it. Just poofed. What's that?
Illness.
Yeah, I guess it could be illness, but something financially, um, where they can. Oh, what I was thinking about, one of the bigger ones that's happened recently, um, property insurance. The insurance company says we will not insure the property, which means then they cannot get their mortgage on it. Good chances you'll eventually be able to find someone that can finance it. But if any of those things happen and they can't get their mortgage and you waive this, you're not quite, but you're pretty much saying goodbye to your hand money. Like if you got $5,000 hand money on there, the sellers, your buyers could still fight for it and say, we're not going to sign a release back to the sellers. And then the sellers would have to go to mediation and then the magistrate and go after. But the good chance the seller's going to win at that point. Or if they're waiving that and that's why they terminate, if the quickest way I've seen it is a lawyer for the seller just sends in a letter. Hey, the buyers were in breach of contract here. The mortgage contingency. We want their hand money. We'll release the hand money. That's the quickest way to get it. If you're on the seller side, but yeah, so something you can do to make your offer stronger, but make sure your buyers know, you know, what can happen if they don't get their mortgage. There's a good chance they lose their hand money. All right, going down, nothing really here with water and stuff like that. We get into inspections. Inspections are a spot where there's some agents just say, if you want to win this house, you got to waive inspections. I am never going to say that to a buyer. That puts me liable. Most of your um, lawsuits that come up to the two main ones are from inspections and the seller's disclosure. The seller's not disclosing everything that they said's wrong with the property. So unless my buyer has a contracting background, they know what they're looking at, they're in there to rehab it or something, or they just like know what they're doing, I'll be like, okay, it's up to you. Again, if you feel comfortable doing it, I get it. If I have first time out home buyers or people that don't really have a whole lot of experience with construction and stuff, and there's multiple offers, I'm still recommend they get their multiple offers. It's not worth it to just win the house and then they get in there and then they find X, Y, and Z's wrong with the house and they're mad at you after, and then a lawsuit happens down the road because you said I wouldn't get inspections to win this house. Like, don't put yourself in that situation. So, I wrote two offers up this weekend, both multiple offers. They are doing home inspection, wood. Um, Radon, I left that open to them if they want to do it or not. They both decided to. I do elect property and flood insurance. And something too, when you're getting offers accepted, tell your clients, find out from the insurance company, reach out to your insurance provider, try to get home insurance on this within the first 10 days. Because then if you can't get insurance on it, or they're saying, hey, you need a new roof on this before we can do it, then that's something you can negotiate during your inspections or just terminate because the insurance is going to be so high on it. Like, insurance companies are very tough right now. So find out during your due diligence. It's a quick 5-minute phone call to their insurance person, then and get a quote on it. Property boundaries, up to them. A lot of most of my people are going to waive them. I get on the agent side, that's one you would like to get elected, just in case there is anything. You're saying, hey, you have the option to do it. Lead-based paint is almost, I've never seen anyone elect it. And then camera sewer line test, they didn't like that. And that's something I really highly recommend. I've been seeing more and more houses need a new sewer line. It's just worth it to save you a lot of money down the road potentially. Um, Now contingency wise, you could do less. Be like, hey, we'll get inspections done. I know in my inspector, he could do it in 5 days. We'll have it done a lot longer. To win multiple offers, I don't recommend going over 10 days, though. I wouldn't put in 14, 15 days, 12 days in there. I would keep it at 10, try to get in there as fast as possible. Um, let's see, as we're going down, one thing you want to make sure, and this is pre-filled in there for a while. Mine did not pre-fill. I had to make sure it was typed in there at 30. This, if there's a dispute over the deposit money, um, how long it takes before we can release it back to the buyers. So if you have it 30 days, if you want to get a little tricky and it's something that most agents and listing agents aren't reviewing, you can put 1 day in there if you want to. So then, like, hey, yo, you didn't dispute it 1 day later. It's a little, but I've seen 5 days. I've seen 10 days in there a couple times that on the buyer, a good buyer agents have put in there. But if you're not putting anything in there and there's $10,000 hand money on there and the sellers won't sign a release of hand money, your buyers are waiting 6 months, 180 days before get their hand money back. I've seen some buyers get ticked off for that. That they're like, what? We got to wait 6 months to get our 10 grand back? Like, we need that money or whatever, you know what I mean? And that might hold them up from buying the next house because it's not like if we hold it, doesn't mean we can just transfer it over. So make sure you have a minimum 30 days in there. Okay. Now, a couple different things you could do at the bottom down here. Things you can add on. One of them, if you are getting inspections, like I said, I recommend it. A way to kind of make these sellers feel at ease with this is say, buyers will not ask for any individual repairs under X amount. So when I bought my home, I said 5 grand. I will not ask it for any individual repairs under 5 grand. That means there has to be it has to be a roof or the furnace and AC going or whatever for me to be asking something structural. It has to be something very serious to be asking for repairs. But you could do less. I mean, most of my people do like 2 grand on there. I did one over the weekend. It was just 1,000. They're not going to ask for any repairs under $1,000. And just it puts the seller at ease that you're not going to be nickel and dime and having to fix a bunch of little stuff. You know, over $1,000. Okay, it's somewhat serious. Um, Another thing you could do, it already has in here, the sellers agreed to pay the sum, pay for the home warranty. Change this. Say your buyers will purchase the AHS home warranty and add on seller coverage. It's a good peace of mind, um, again, for your sellers that if something does come up in inspections that is covered under the home warranty, that $65 coverage covers it for them. And it's great the buyer is paying for that. Trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing in here of things to make it stronger right now. I went through most of them. Well, let's open up the floor. We got like 14 minutes left here. What's your guys' thoughts? Is there anything else that you would put in here or that you put in to make your multiple offers stronger? I know Stephanie, you probably do more than anybody else here. Anything you put in yours that I didn't go over?
I think you hit most of the stuff I do. I shorten the hand money deposit time frame. A lot of the time,
Okay,
like we'll increase hand money, but shorten the deposit time frame to like 2 or 3 days.
okay,
Um, I do write in a lot of times, like we'll do a monetary amount that we're not going to negotiate further
yep.
beyond. Um, I'm trying to think anything else we do. What are your thoughts? I have a question on this. So I always elect write in the lateral sewage camera inspection and have my
Yeah.
clients elect it. However, I've also heard from other people because it's listed under the home inspection, if you read the paragraph, it technically all sewage lines are in there.
Yep. Correct.
So I know some people will sometimes just elect the home inspection and not write in the lateral, but then I've heard other agents' argument is I feel like you should be forthcoming that you are going to inspect the lateral sewage camera, but like on paper, if you're not writing it in, it technically looks better, right?
Yeah.
What are your
Yeah.
thoughts
On
on that?
paper, it looks better, and they can still do it under the home inspection. Like it's part of the home. Um, why I do it and I add on there is more for my protection a little bit to where it's for the buyer seeing it and saying, hey, we're going to elect this or we're going to waive it. Then it's on them. I at least have it on there to where like they can't say they never knew about it because they had to elect it or waive it. They might not know about it in the home inspection it come up, but so yeah, I do it more for my protection and have them elect it for that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, you can do it and have it fall under the home inspection, and it does look better on multiple offers.
Yeah, I was
Does that
just
make sense?
curious. I'm the same, like
Yeah.
I feel like I should write it in, but then
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, man, what if I it would be like good then you get the response of like, well, there was just a few less contingencies and you're like, should I
Yeah.
have like
Was that
just
one of
tucked that
them?
in there?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I know. I know. Um, I mean, I guess it's something you could always do in multiple offers too, is just like have them sign something that says, I recommend you getting a camera sewer line during your home inspection. Have them sign that, and then you're covered and not have it on there, you know?
Yeah, that's a good
So
idea
that's not a
too.
bad idea to do that. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Alrighty. Well, I kind of think I hit over all that. So I talked on the buyer side mostly. Let me show you on the seller side. Um, what you can do when you get home inspections. Get a bunch of offers in. Two different things. Let's see. Firms, Coldwell Banker, MBUL. All right. Let's just preview this actually. All right. So if you are on the seller side and once you have multiple offers, and let's be clear what that means. Multiple offers means two in hand written offers. Then you can call for highest and best at that point. If you have one offer in hand and you get one verbal offer from someone, not multiple offers. I saw that happen one time to one of my buyers, and I had to call the other side and be like, that is fraud doing that. And we got my client's original offer accepted before they did their other one. So yeah, the agent was a little freaked out by that. But make sure you get two offers in hand before you call them for multiple offers. Now, something not all agents do, but I highly recommend doing this when you have it. This is a Coldwell Banker form. If you just type in MUL for multiple, it'll come up. The multiple offer notification, immediate action required. So you put in the property address. Um, you can leave this open. The buyer name is going to be filled out by the buyer agent, but you're going to be sending this out to all of them of anybody who put in an offer. The MLS number on there. And then you'll have the date and time for the highest and best when it is and what email for them to send it to. And then at the seller's sole discretion, a price escalation addendum will or will not be considered. So it's a good thing for that they're signing this. They know, hey, we're not accepting them. And then based on the Realtor Code of Ethics, we are obligated to inform you the source of the competing offers are from cooperating brokers, are from agents at Coldwell Banker, or are from both agents at Coldwell Banker and cooperating brokers. So it's good to have this. send it out to anybody that put in a multiple offer, have them sign it, their clients sign it and send it back. Okay, it's a little something to protect you. Now, once you get multiple offers, I think it's a par form. If you type in summary, multiple offer summary worksheet. Let's preview that again. I keep on just adding things left and right. All right, so this is a really good one to so you because so you don't have to print out every single one. Usually what I'll do is I'll pull up the offer, I'll print this out, and then I'll write on here who's the buyer agent, purchase price, seller concessions, um, let's see, net purchase price, what they're getting, escalation clauses, if you're doing that, what's the deposit money, what's the total, do they have a date acceptance date on there? Multiple offers, they definitely shouldn't. Um, what's the settlement date? What kind of mortgage? What lender? What kind of loan? What inspections are they doing? Is there a home warranty or anything else like that they're going to be including in here? So usually what I try to do is I'll look through all the offers and then I'll put the best one on here and then I'll just go over of like what I think the best one is and on. Um, and there's I think 3 of these sheets. So I mean you could print these off and just keep on. You get 12 offers on your house, you might have to do 12 of these. Or ask your sellers, like you could still send them all of them and say, hey, I'm going to take the 4 that I think are the best of all these, and I'm going to fill out all the details. Then we can go over and review them from there. So up to you how you want to do it with your seller. I understand a lot of people are just going to want them to see all of them and put it on here, but recommend this is probably the best way to see them side by side and then have your seller choose them. So,
Hey
all
Dana,
right.
I actually converted that into a Excel spreadsheet.
Oh, shut
So
the front door.
it's really nice and I'm happy to share. And
Yeah,
what I
please
do
do.
is I just literally copy and paste it to a new tab for each property. And then
Yeah,
it's kind of nice because if anyone ever has questions about anything, like I can go back and show like all those offers. I save it all. But
that's
then
great.
you can straight up copy and paste it right into an email. At, like if you're not able to meet in person with your clients.
Yeah.
So like every time we receive an offer, I'll run it with a cost sheet, send the offer with, and then copy and paste that portion of the spreadsheet. And then the next offer comes in, I just keep adding it. So then if by the end they have like the whole layout, they can see like side by side comparison.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, please send that over, please.
hmm Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Awesome.
I'll just send you one with like my last one in it. And then what I do is
Sure,
that, like I said, I just copy paste it, clear it out. But I
sure.
even added an escalations in there. So like it kind of calculates it for you.
Oh, look at you go. You fancy. Nice. All
Work
right.
smarter, not harder, right?
Heck yes. Heck yes. Yeah, I was just, I was thinking I probably could just take that and just put in Chat GPT and say, make an Excel file out of this for me. I've been doing that on a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
I'll take yours too.
Yeah, yeah, it's easy. I did it the a couple years ago, and it when like COVID times when it was crazy, and I was just like, this
Sure.
is so much easier than
That's
handwriting or
awesome.
printing those.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone. And I think I'm gonna have the Chris Leader thing. She sent it to me. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but I'm gonna put it up if anybody wants to stop in for it. So, all right. Talk to you all later. Thanks for jumping on.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Thanks. You too. I hope that recorded. There we go. Start recording.